So hello again, dear friends, and welcome to this video, which will be about to be a diabetic in high school. When I was diagnosed with diabetes, I was at high school, and my whole class knew that I was diagnosed because I was not there the first days. We had quite a small class, maybe a little bit over 20 students. So it was quite clear that something was up when I was not there the first days after Christmas. So people knew that I was at the hospital and that I gotten this diagnosis. And in my class, people were very, very nice about it, very, very helpful. I had very good friends. So that was quite nice to come back and kind of feel safe in this environment. And it was a big, big new change for me. But I also remember, because we did some courses with other students, not only our own class, and I remember very clearly, and I will never forget, there was a girl who saw that one time that I took insulin, and she went like, "Ew." And I always kind of, I don't know why, because I shouldn't, but I always took it a bit discreetly also before that. But I remember after that, I felt a lot of prejudice, and I have, till this day, I take still insulin, I think quite discreetly. Some people even don't know after a long, long time that I'm a diabetic. Now it's maybe a bit more easier to see because of the sensor, but before, I was really like under the table, fixing everything, very little visible. And one of the reasons was because of this girl's reaction. It was really, it's something I will just never forget, You have to take insulin for a long, long time, who knows, the whole life maybe. And somebody reacts like that. It was really, in a way, tough for a young teenager. At that time I was 16 years old, and so somebody to have this type of reaction that what I do, taking insulin, is gross. So this I will never forget, and this may be still one of the reasons today why I take insulin quite discreetly. In general, at high school, my blood sugar was very good because my life was so based on routine. I would wake up, I would eat the same thing for every breakfast. I would eat the same thing for every lunch, with extreme few exceptions. And at my family's house, I lived home till I was 18. So there was also kind of a routine. We ate mostly the same things on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. There was not so many variations in the meals. So I got to learn the meals and what insulin to take to them quite quickly. And I would also eat kind of the same thing for something, because I always did some exercise in the evening, so I would eat something also then, and that was also the same thing kind of every day. So this routine actually made it very easy to regulate my blood sugar. I would only measure my blood sugar 2 times a day, as I mentioned before, in the morning, in the evening, and there was no really need for more, because I know what I needed to take for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner and the evening. And since it was kind of the same days every time, like the days were not changing all that much, maybe sometimes in the weekends, but in general it was very structured and very easy. Like I would have some oats with milk for breakfast, have some sandwiches for lunch. I would have maybe rice or chicken for dinner, or maybe spaghetti bolognese or something like that, quite simple things. And in the evenings, I don't remember, maybe a protein shake. I remember for a period I had omelette for a period. So it would vary a little bit, but I didn't think so much about it. I didn't eat like crazy amounts either, so it was a bit of carbs, but it was oats, it was dark bread, So it wasn't so much like quick carbs, it was more the slow acting carbs. And I also, because I only measured in the morning and the evening, I don't know actually how much my blood sugar spiked during the day. This I still don't know. But when I was to the doctor to check the long-term blood sugar, it was always very, very good in that period. So I don't think it was too bad, actually. So it was a time at high school where it was actually quite okay to be a diabetic, in the way that it was quite easy to maintain a good balanced blood sugar when my life was so structured. I would eat the same thing. But at the same time, it was a time where I felt a bit like prejudice. I would try to hide it a bit. In that matter, it was not so nice. But I had a girlfriend at the time from 16 to 21. So also with girls, it was not such a big deal because I kind of cared about my girlfriend, and she knew about it from the beginning. She was there when I got diagnosed. So that was also actually quite fine, quite okay, because she knew she was with me with the whole journey, which was also very, very, made it much easier. And my family was there also, helping, being supportive. I was living at home, which also gave kind of a social safety in all of that. And also it gave some benefits in Norway. If you have a chronic disease, you would get some longer time for your tests, which was nice because for me, of course, some of the courses were difficult. I'm quite good at some subjects and I'm quite weak at other subjects. Like, for example, languages, I'm quite weak at. But for example, biology, geography, courses like that, I'm quite good at. So yeah, if I could have some longer times at the test, that was quite a big help. And of course it was difficult sometimes with the hormones. That could give some spikes, so not so much food, but of course at that time, you know, late puberty for me and early like adulthood, I mean, of course there was some time of anger and this emotion, and that I really recognized affected my blood sugar. Like, it would be so good, like so normal every day, but sometimes it would be like very weird. I didn't eat anything special, but I would remember like, yeah, that's true. I was extremely upset today, or extremely angry or jealous or something with emotion. So that I could see would affect, and that was a time 16 to 18 with a lot of emotions. So there was a place I could, of course, yeah, it was difficult, it was a challenge, but it would mostly make it go high and not low. So it didn't affect me so much in a way, because I feel much stronger immediately when it's low, and when it's high, I'm often good to make it go down again, or I was at least at that time. So it didn't affect me too much, other than, oh, it's very high now that I measure, what could be the cause. And there was also sometimes with extra activity, it would go low, but I was also lucky at this time because I had kind of a safety margin. I still do in a way. So I have had this now for 16 years and I never got so low blood sugar that I fainted or lost control or something like that. So it seems like I have some type of safety margin in my body. So I'm extremely lucky in that way. I think maybe something, my liver releases maybe some glycogen when it gets really low, and I kind of have a safety there. So I'm not 100% sure about the mechanics, but that's what I read somewhere, that can happen. So I guess in a way also I'm quite lucky. I'm a diabetic type 1, but it still seems like I have a little bit of safety margin. So I can still get, and I will talk about it later, horrible symptoms when my blood sugar is low. Like feeling of depression and heart beating crazy and cold sweats and a lot of bad feelings and experiences, but never have it been like I've been passing out or something like that. So I'm extremely lucky in a sense. So if it was problematic and it was low, it would then quite quickly stabilize, so I didn't get too much the effect. But that is also something I have seen during my time with diabetes. It was a bigger safety margin before, and I've actually gotten worse low blood sugar the latest years, so that is maybe something that has changed a little bit, that the safety kind of has gone a little bit away. But I also read somewhere that that's quite normal as well. So to summarize this episode, high school was quite a good time for me as a diabetic. When it came to my blood sugar, the routine and eating the same food made it quite easy to measure and maintain a good blood sugar. But at the same time, I did feel some stigma. I tried to hide it a bit, especially after this person obviously seemed disgusted by me taking insulin. And that was quite hard, and something that I still maybe subconsciously think about, so I still hide it a bit when I take insulin. And if there was something that kind of affected in a negative way, it was emotions, and emotions I had more of when I was younger, the stronger emotions. There I could see that the blood sugar was not as I expected. And one last thing I also wanted to mention here is that only measuring kind of your blood sugar 2 times a day, it was also a time I didn't think so much about being a diabetic, because it was kind of something that when you have this, it kind of is there in front of you on your phone, at least on my phone all the time. But at that time, measuring in the morning and the evening, it was not so much in front of me all the time. I needed to take insulin for the meals and so on, but I didn't think so much about it. And that was also quite nice. I still felt a lot of freedom from it at that time. And with the routine also, I made it quite easy to manage. So that was very nice. It was very positive in this period, that I felt it was there, but not so in my face all the time there. So that was quite nice with this type of routine, checking morning in the evening. So it was a good time. It really was a good time for me at high school as a diabetic in general, even if I felt some prejudice, I did. So I hope this was interesting. Like and subscribe if you like this channel. Join our community, and let's support each other. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.